What's up, guys? Welcome back to Project Redbeard. So I know I've had the King Quad 750 video up for a while now, and just wanted to get the King Quad 400 out here, do a little kind of quick review on it. Now I will say this, that this ATV only has about 40 miles on it. I bought this from Mrs. Redbeard. Of course, she works a lot of overtime and just doesn't get as much time to use it now during hunting season. And if we're cutting firewood or something, she'll ride it up the mountain and we'll do all that. So I can't really attest a whole much to this specific ATV. However, to the King Quad 400 itself, as a general, just a general unit, I can. So one of my family members has a King Quad 400, and they've had that thing for 16 years. It's been a rough 16 years. The odometer stopped on that ATV at 3,600 miles after 3 years of ownership. And so, yeah, for the 13 years following that, we have no idea how many miles are on it, but it just keeps on rolling. It leaks oil out of the valve cover gasket. It's been rolled down over the mountain about 7 times. Twice with me on it, 3 times with him on it. We live in pretty steep terrain, so it happens. Yeah, it's been a great four-wheeler. Now there have been some updates, obviously through 16 years. The looks are not so much different. Now it does run on the same transmission, which has been proven to be a very reliable transmission. It does still have the solid rear axle, which I find very useful when you're pulling something a little bit heavier with more tongue weight. As I noticed as I said in the 750 video, that it does squat down with the independent rear suspension when you put heavier load on it. With this ATV, you really won't have that kind of trouble. The new 400s are fuel injected. Now I will note that they still do leave a choke switch on this ATV here. Okay, but I find that it's not so much a choke since it's fuel injected. You can hear the fuel pump when you turn the key. I do find that it's not so much a choke as it is like a high idle switch, I guess, just to warm it up. It works well. Haven't had any issues out of that, so no complaints there. This is not the power steering model. I don't know why, but Mrs. Redbeard just didn't want the power steering model, and then she got on my 750. She's like, "Man, that power steering's nice." But she's happy with it. It doesn't make a whole ton of difference, when you're riding it, but when you're going real slow or you stop and got to turn, that's when you notice it. Four-wheel drive on this ATV is your typical Suzuki King Quad lever. You just flip it. You flip it right here for your two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Okay. No complaints out of that. I actually do like the King Quad 400 a lot, especially for trail riders. A lot of people want that independent suspension, but I find just the small, compact size of the 400. And the simple fact that it's basically a Willys Jeep. It's basically just a Willys Jeep. That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, they'll go. They do. They just go. And I would say for female riders, or somebody that doesn't want to spend a ton of money, that's not really needing to go fast, because this ATV is not really designed to go fast. This four-wheeler will do 50 miles an hour if you need it to. It's you're ringing it out pretty much at 55 mile an hour or so. But if you're looking at it for a farm vehicle or something that you can use around on the farm or local areas, if you got a small piece of property you have to drive to or whatever, and you can use an ATV, it's perfect for that. It's fine. It does have a sleek look. It almost kind of reminds me of the camouflage finish of the old Suzuki Igers, which just in the front end anyhow. I never had experience with those. I heard a lot of people liked them. I heard a lot of people didn't. Personal preference. So let's hop up here in the saddle and look over some things. So your display, of course, on the 16-year-old one, it's just analog. So here you have a digital display, has your fuel, you know, your miles per hour. Of course, you have your trip and your reset and all that. High beam, low beam, turn the key extra to turn on your lights, kill switch. You got your, I call it a high idle because I don't really think it's a choke, but thing starts pretty easy. Your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive switch. You do have your neutral, reverse, high, and low. Got your foot brake down here, right there. Foot brake, your rear brake, front brake, hydraulic. Pretty basic. You know, this ATV is really a no frills workhorse. You do have a power outlet here if you need to. You know, we run electric chainsaw sharpeners, like little Dremel tools that put bits on them to sharpen our chainsaw chains in the woods, make it super fast. So you know, they get some use. Yeah, we'll go for a little spin here. Now I am gonna have to put this in 4-wheel drive because this hill is super slick. So I'm gonna put it in low gear, and you guys are gonna kind of see that it doesn't go extremely fast in low gear. When I say low gear, I mean it's low gear. Now it'll obviously go faster than this. I'm just at about quarter throttle, but this is very muddy, guys. It's been a rainy few days. Now, one thing about this four-wheeler is you don't really need low gear because high gear is pretty low itself. Like the high gear on this is like the low gear on my King Quad 750, and that's a good thing because, you know, it's really not really meant to go fast, but it is a torquey engine. And so like right now we're in high gear. Say that I don't know how loud this is coming through on the mic here, but I will say that the King Quad 400 does run a little bit louder than the 750, but that is because it's a smaller engine. You know, it gets its power from more RPMs than the 750, so that's one thing to consider. However, I don't find it to be, you know, any really disadvantage. You know, the wildlife don't seem to really mind it any more than the other four-wheeler. So go down this little path here, test it out over this little tree I got down here laying in front of it. Now, when I say this is slick up here, guys, I'm not joking. Like, it has rained for the past 4 days and it has not stopped. So not only that, but when the ground was froze and now melted, that was added, you know, moisture in the ground. So, all right, so this little tree right here is a kind of a pain. It's not very big, but it is slick. It don't have no bark on it either, so it's hard. So yeah, and this thing just walked on over. High gear, 4-wheel drive, no problems. Just turn here. Hey, here's my tree stand, which I need to get out of the woods now. It's hunting season's over. That's my old Summit 180 Max tree stand right there. Thing is, it's pretty comfortable. Of course, you know, with all this rain, I'm gonna let it sit out here until the sun hits it and dries it out some because it's wet. Because it's wet. do us a little U-turn here. Sorry for my fingers in the way there, guys. I'll hit this thing with a little bump it, you know. Yeah. Say climb over a dead tree. So you know, this thing it does run really well. You know, I'm a bigger guy, so I'd say this four-wheeler's you know, size wise for me sitting on it is perfectly fine. Power wise, you know, I would say it's fine for me. You know, I'm a 280 pound guy, and it has no problem carrying me around. You know, I got plenty of room on it. It seems it has plenty of power. It doesn't miss a beat. It just goes. And so I'll put this here in two-wheel drive and high gear, and we'll just, you know, spin the tires a little bit. Yeah. So, as you can see, it will definitely throw some dirt. I know there's somebody out there that wanted to know. Generally, I don't try not to beat up on the ATVs too much. We do use them to work a lot. Of course, this ATV hasn't gotten ran here in about 2 weeks, so just wanted to get it out and kind of get it warmed up, get the oil circulating and everything, and that's kind of just what I did, and I figured I'd make a little video on it. But there you can see there that it has no problem throwing some dirt. But again, you know, we don't do that too very often, but with the ground so wet like that, it's really not gonna tear, you know, a whole lot up. I'm not burying it in mud or anything. Really don't do that. In fact, I avoid that altogether. But yeah, guys. So, you know, I think this is a very good machine, and I think that anybody looking for, you know, a nice quad that you know, not too big, you know, not too small. It's got plenty of power. You know, it does good, guys. There's no complaints here from me or from Mrs. Redbeard. It's pretty much just a great ATV, and you know, this model, the King Quad 400, has proven itself over the years with you know, my family to be extremely reliable, and I don't think you guys can go wrong. I really don't. You know, even if you're an avid ATVer, if you're not super set on just going extremely fast, you know, I think this ATV is great. Like, I think that it'll do anything that you really need it to. You know, the full drive works great. But thing's basically a billy goat, right? So it's a Willys Jeep. That's what I call it, because that's what it reminds me of. It doesn't have a ton of power, but the thing just goes everywhere. But yeah, guys, you know, again, if you like the video, you know, please like it, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try to do some more videos here and get everything just, I don't know, trying to grow the channel, guys. It's been crazy. Been working a lot, been super busy at the house and the farm, trying to get things ready, planning on doing some food plots for the wildlife, especially for the deer come springtime. So gonna do some videos on that. I'm actually working on making a handmade plow. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work out. I'm not using hardened steel, but I'm using some thick steel. I'd say it'll work pretty good, hopefully. If not, well, then it doesn't work, but we're gonna try it out. So yeah, look forward to that, and you know, maybe you guys will be interested in that. But again, if you like it, please like, subscribe, so I can grow the channel. And until then, this is Project Redbeard. Please, guys, stay safe out there. There's going to be a lot of things changing here, I think, 2023. And just got a notification from a news app that they're expecting gas in some places to be $7 a gallon. Well, I don't know how I'm going to get to work paying $7 a gallon for gas. Just saying. And I think a lot of people are going to be in the same boat. So yeah, guys, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little crazy. You know, some crazy times we're living in, and yeah, just hope everybody stays safe out there. All right, peace out.